Welcome back, everybody. I'm Marcio. You're watching The Urban Man. Today we're going to have a little chat about watch collecting. What is watch collecting? What's the right way of watch collecting? What's the wrong way of watch collecting? Should you be collecting Seiko? Should you be collecting Rolexes? Should you be collecting Timexes? What watches should you be collecting? The answer is it's entirely up to you. That's right from the start. I'm going to give it to you. It's right up to you what you choose to collect. There's no right way of collecting. There's no wrong way of collecting watches. It's entirely up to you. If you've got thousands of dollars to spend, rands to spend, and it's itching in your pocket and you want to start collecting watches, and you decide you want to start buying Rolex, Pateks, whatever you want to buy, Breitlings, the higher end stuff. If you decide that's what you want to go for, the luxury segment, then by all means go and do it. It's not right, it's not wrong. If you decide you want to collect Timex watches, then go ahead and collect all the weekenders, all the different color variations you get. Go and do that. It's not wrong. There is no right or wrong way of watch collecting. It's entirely what you choose. Just because you collect a Timex doesn't mean the guy that's collecting a Rolex watch is a better collector than you. It just means he's got more money in his pocket to spend on luxury watches. That's all. It doesn't make him a better collector. There's no right or wrong way in collecting watches. If you want to collect vintage watches, then go ahead and do that. I like mixing it up. In my watch collection, I like having vintage watches. I like having dive watches. So you get guys that just collect dive watches, guys that just collect G-Shocks. I like having little bits of everything and enjoying everything. But that's my own personal take on it. That's what I choose to do. Like I said, there's no right or wrong way. Like G-Shocks, I got two of them. I got my GW 5000 and I got my DW 5035. Those were the models that I gravitated towards. Dive watches, I got the Seiko SKX 007 modded. And in the same sense, I've got a Amphibia Vostok. And in the same box, I got a fashion watch, a Fossil. This was actually one of my first watches that I got. I had a couple of other cheapy plastic watches before that, but in terms of like a solid steel watch, this was actually my first watch. I got her when I was 16 years old. Still got her. So she is now doing the maths, 18 years old. This watch, 17, 18 years old. Quartz movement still ticking great. I got dress watches. I got vintage. I'm still getting into the vintage, but I got I can't remember the reference number, but I got my Seiko King Quartz from 1976. That's my first vintage that I'm getting into vintage, and that's still vintage is a little bit iffy and newy to me, so I'm trying to slowly learn, and I don't want to just jump and buy any vintage watch and then problem with vintage is getting parts to repair if you need to. That can be an issue. That's why I start off with a quartz model, although quartz can bomb out, but finding another quartz model, the movement that can actually fit inside there will be much easier than a mechanical part. Trying to find one little intricate part, that can cost you a pretty penny. So I'm gonna get into it, but yeah, slowly. But yeah, back to watch collecting. Whatever you choose. I got Orients, cheap Orients. I paid, I think, like 700 rand for it, about $50 for this. I put it on a leather strap though. Came with this cheap, nasty bracelet, so I chucked that on there. But watch collecting, I often hear people. The whole thing of me bringing up watch collecting is I almost get a sense where some people feel like they have to have a luxury watch. I understand you want to have a luxury watch. People chuck in your face. You always want what you can't have. Well, sometimes you can have it, but for other guys, you always want what you can't have. And you sometimes see guys posting images of Tudors and Rolexes and stuff like that, and you sit there craving, oh, I wish I could have one of those, own one of those. And to be honest with you, I've said it as well in a couple of Facebook groups and stuff. Don't beat yourself about not having those type of watches. Don't beat yourself. 20% of those watches, I know I may be speculating, but 20% of those watches, you're paying for that name. Yes, there is in-house movements and there's research and development that has gone into making it. But you find really, really great pieces sub $1,000, sub $500 even. Between 5 and 10,000 rand. You find some really, really quality pieces. Sure, they don't have maybe the quality that Rolex does, but when you look at the finishing of, let's say for example an Oris. Let's grab an Oris. Okay, now I have to try and bring up model numbers and stuff. But when you compare overall, in general, let's just talk general. An Oris to, for example, a Breitling. One is roughly around $1,000. The other one you can grab for roughly around $2,000, $3,000. When you look at the finishing from one to the other, it is pretty close to one another. Movements, that's another story on its own. But you have to look at a package entirely in its whole form. You have to look at the movements, you have to look at the case finishing, the dial that you're getting, the bracelet that you're getting. And when you look at some of these sub $1,000, sub $500, 5 to 10,000 rand watches, you are getting great value in those watches. Whereas in a Rolex or a Tudor, you're basically paying for what you're getting. So you're paying between 40 and 150,000 rand, or in terms of dollars, you're paying $3,000 to $12,000, but you're getting what you're paying for in that sense. Whereas when you start looking at these other cheaper models, Seikos and Orises and that, a lot of them punch well above their weight. You're actually paying and you're getting a lot more for your money. Whereas the other high-end luxury watches, I don't see you getting that extra value. You're not buying a $10,000 watch or 100,000 rand watch and it looks like it cost you 500,000 or it's worth 500,000 actually. Whereas with the lower ends, they really punch well above the weight. So you're getting much more value for what you're paying for. But collecting luxury watches is not a bad thing either. Like I've said, if you got the money and you can afford it, then go ahead and do it. It's not wrong and it's not right. It's what you choose. At the end of the day, it's what you choose you want to buy. So guys, the main thing is enjoy it. It's a journey. If you buy a cheap watch and it only lasts you a year, yeah, you enjoyed it for that year. It cost you $20 or $200 or $300, like a F91W or something. Although I think that thing is a tank, but enjoy it and learn from it. It's a journey. Enjoy the journey, and don't worry like, oh, I bought this Seiko and I should have saved up and bought this or bought that. Don't beat yourself about it. You'll get it at a later stage. There's plenty of watches out there. If you miss this opportunity of buying this watch or saving up for this watch today, you'll buy it in another year or two or whatever. It's not the end of the world. Watches aren't going to die out. There's thousands of watches everywhere. Just Google it up and you can see for yourself. But yeah, don't beat yourself around it. Just enjoy the journey. Buy what you like, wear what you like, and don't let anybody discourage you or say, oh, why did you buy that? You should have bought this. I never discourage someone, even if they've got a fashion watch. I mean, my cousin, that I bought a Daniel Wellington for another family member, and I was like, yeah, cool, enjoy it. I mean, so what? It's a watch. Just enjoy it. Don't discourage people. Just enjoy it. Enjoy your timepieces, and teach people so that they can learn about other watches out there. That's what I try and do. Anyways, guys, I've been going on for way too long. I hope you take something from this. And if you enjoyed this, please hit that like button. Please leave comments down below what your thoughts are on watch collecting, or what does your watch collection Do you have vintage pieces, dive watches, tool watches, dress watches? Yeah, micro brands, whatever. Just drop it down. Let me know what you guys enjoy collecting and that. Or if you want to know more about watch collecting, where to look for watches and stuff, yeah, please leave your comment down below. I'll try and guide you in the right position, right space to go to. And remember to subscribe, guys. That's what keeps me going. That's what motivates me, pushes me to produce more content for you guys and keep on pushing through. Until the next one, guys, thanks for watching. Cheers for now.